Welcome to Cartoons and Stories '01, where exciting adventures and fun cartoons come to life. Get ready for a world of imagination.
This is the city zoo, when all the people go home and the gates are locked tight. The real life of the zoo begins. This is Leo. He was a brave young lion, but he dreamed of seeing the world outside the zoo walls. And this is his best friend, Penelope the penguin. Penelope was very clever and liked everything to be neat and tidy. And look who's here. It's Squeaky, the squirrel. Squeaky didn't live in the zoo, but he visited every day to see his friends and find the best peanuts. "Hey, Leo," chattered Squeaky. "What's new in the lion business?" Leo signed. "Oh, Squeaky," he rumbled. "It's the same thing every day. I wish something exciting would happen." Penelope waddled over. "Excitement can be very untidy, Leo," she said wisely. Just then, a flock of migrating birds flew high over the zoo. They were singing a beautiful song, and all the animals in the zoo stopped to listen. The song was about a wonderful, faraway place, a beautiful valley with a sparkling river where animals of all kinds lived together in peace and freedom. They sang of a magical sunstone that kept the valley warm and green all year round. They called it Sunstone Valley. The birds flew on, but their song stayed in Leo's heart. Sunstone Valley. Leo couldn't sleep a wink. He couldn't stop thinking about that magical place. The next morning, Leo had made up his mind. He called a meeting with his two best friends. "I'm going to find it," Leo announced bravely. "I'm going to find Sunstone Valley." Squeaky the squirrel thought this was the best idea ever. "An adventure. Count me in," he chattered. But Penelope was not so sure. "Oh dear," she clucked. "The outside world sounds very big and very untidy. But think of the adventure, Penelope," said Leo. "Think of living under the real sun." Penelope thought very hard. She looked at her friend Leo, and finally, she nodded. "All right," she said, "let's have a great animal adventure." That night, their secret plan began. Squeaky was the lookout. Penelope, who was very clever with puzzles, figured out how to open the lock on her door. Click, it opened. She was out. Next, she went to help Leo, but his lock was much bigger. Penelope showed Leo where to push, and with his mighty lion strength, bang! The gate swung open. They were all free. The great animal adventure had begun. Squeaky, who knew all the secret paths, led them through the sleeping zoo. They squeezed through a little gate and found themselves in a strange new world. The city. Leo and Penelope had never seen anything like it. Tall buildings that touched the clouds, and lights brighter than any star. A light turned from red to green. "We must wait for it to be red again," sighed Penelope. "It's the proper way to cross." They passed a bakery, and the air was filled with the wonderful smell of warm bread. Penelope was very happy to find a big park fountain. She dove right in for a quick, splashy swim. Squeaky was a great guide, helping them stay hidden in the shadows. At last, as the sun began to peak, they reached the edge of the city. Before them was the wide, open countryside. They were so happy to feel soft grass under their paws and feet. But soon, they came to a big, wide river. How would they get across? Penelope knew just what to do. "Everyone aboard the penguin ferry," she announced, with Leo and Squeaky on the log. Penelope expertly pushed them across the wide river. On the other side, they met a wise old badger who was reading a book. They asked him if he knew the way to Sunstone Valley. "Indeed," said the badger. "You must cross the great whispering mountains. Sunstone Valley lies beyond." The friends looked at the tall mountains. It would be their biggest challenge yet. But they were brave, and they were together. Onward they went. The mountain path was steep and rocky. It was a very hard climb. A cold wind began to blow. Whoosh! Leo stood close to Penelope to keep her warm. Squeaky, who was a great climber, scrambled ahead to find the best way up. Oh, the path became a very narrow, very scary ledge. Penelope was afraid to cross. "I'll go first," said brave Leo. "Just follow me. You can do it." Penelope took a deep breath and shuffled carefully across the ledge, one brave step at a time. They all made it. They were a great team. After a long, long climb, they reached the very top. They were tired, but they looked down from the peak and they saw Sunstone Valley. It was the most beautiful place they had ever seen. And in the middle, glowing like its own private sun, was the magical Sunstone. A sparkling river wound through the valley, and waterfalls tumbled down the rocks. They looked at each other, their hearts full of joy. They had made it. Down the mountain, they went into their wonderful new home. All the animals of the valley came to welcome them. Tea was a paradise. Leo, Penelope, and Squeaky had never been so happy. But soon, they noticed something wasn't quite right. The light from the sunstone seemed a little weak. A wise old bear, the leader of the valley, gathered them around. "The sunstone is losing its power," the bear rumbled sadly. "Its 3 starlight crystals are missing." He explained that a rock slide had scattered the crystals all over the valley. "One crystal is on that high cliff," he said. "Another is at the bottom of the deep lake. And the last one is trapped in that cave," he sighed. "We cannot move the boulder." Leo, Penelope, and Squeaky looked at each other. A climber, a swimmer, and someone very strong. They knew they could help. "We'll get the crystals," said Leo. "This is our home now." First, the high crystal. It was a job for a super climber. Up, up, up went Squeaky as fast as a flash. He found the first crystal, a sparkling blue gem. He tucked it safely in his cheek. Next, the deep crystal, a job for a super swimmer. Down, down, down went Penelope, deeper than any other animal could go. And there it was, a glowing green gem. She scooped it up carefully. And last, the blocked crystal, a job for someone super strong. Leo took a deep breath and push. He pushed with all of his mighty lion strength. With a great rumble, the boulder rolled away, and there was the final crystal, a fiery red gem. Together, the 3 heroes brought the starlight crystals back to the sunstone. Squeaky placed the blue crystal, Penelope placed the green crystal, and Leo placed the red crystal. As the last crystal clicked into place, whoosh! The sunstone lit up, brighter than ever before. The valley was filled with warm, golden light. All the animals cheered for Leo, Penelope, and Squeaky. Leo looked around. This was the wild, wonderful home he had always dreamed of. Penelope loved her new, giant swimming pool, and Squeaky had a whole new forest to explore, with the best nuts a squirrel could ever wish for. They had started as friends in a zoo, but now they were heroes in a paradise. And so, Leo, Penelope, and Squeaky learned that home isn't just a place you're from, but a place where you belong. And that was the greatest adventure of all. The end.